past names. I don't want to be a player. Alright, so it is Black Friday. Obviously, it's a national holiday. I'm not going to be there, but congratulations to all of you who are. I'm going to be at the Black Friday at the salon, so why don't you come get your haircut? I don't know, you could do some Black Friday sales. I'm sure you something. Okay, so I was like just listening to what I thought was going to be an educational video, and literally it was going back and forth over and over between two languages. I was like, I am all about learning languages, bro, but I did not know we were going to be doing that today, so. Okay, first card out I see. New opportunities for somebody in the universe. What happened? Come on, genius, girl, seriously. Get the fuck out of my life. So new opportunities in the universe. They are way. Baby, how was I supposed? Okay, oops, you did it again. Does somebody break somebody's heart now? Ooh, I'm feeling like that's the energy. Somebody had their heart broken. Somebody broke somebody's heart. This person, I'm feeling that all the next word is coming up almost like they had that energy of like, this was almost like a hidden opportunity. It's like, it was like opportunity in disguise. So maybe some of you guys like had an altercation with something, or you quit your job and just left. I do feel like that you're saying that thing in particular was going to take you to the places that you are now. Go and find yourself at 18 to losing, or they will be losing you. You could have been the person that you care for your people and that your relationship with people, wherever it works better for you. For those of you who have just been sweet and done what you needed to do, the blessings are coming in for all of us, actually. There's a lot of people who are doing both things. Everybody's on a different place. And some people are learning how to, set more boundaries, and some of us are learning how to relax a little bit and enjoy things. So, if you've got any work at all into yourself, then you're going to have good things come out of that. Just because you do something doesn't mean that you're going to have the results that you want. And so you're learning that. You're learning that to just do the right thing or to do whatever you want to do. It's just really about living life. You're realizing that people come and go, and that even the ones you love dearly are not actually the ones you needed to follow this whole thing. And that you needed to be following yourself and your higher power's guidance, and that intuition inside of your body. So those of you who have had those realizations that you're like, whoa, I gotta actually do this for myself, I gotta take this power back for myself, because it's actually causing me to be off the path. Is why you're like, it's not because I don't love you. You're like, shit, I did want to actually move to Florida with you, but I have to be honest with you. You know what I say? When you asked me that, I said, I don't know. You could be like, I've always actually wanted to move to Arkansas. And so you're like knowing like the rules of life, which are you have to go with your higher power and your intuition. And your intuition doesn't mean do what's right. It means do what you really, truly want to do in your heart. And so that's a big difference. A lot of people have been very reluctant to make choices because they're scared of disappointing somebody, or they're scared of making the wrong choice, but the wrong choice does not really exist. The choice that you need to make, you get a heart feeling, and it's the first feeling that you do get, and you end up just questioning it. You question yourself, and maybe somebody actually makes a response or a comment, and you're like, they just throw you off. They might confuse you, they might make you change your mind, redirect you. And so just realizing like how that's actually been a problem, a big problem, because every time you said yes when you needed to say no, you went off path. So you're just learning a lot about that. You're learning about off path and on path and what that really means. And it's not about right or wrong or who says what or who does what. It's about what brings you joy, happiness, contentment, and growth. peace, you know what I mean? It's everything. And most of those things actually don't have anything to do with another person. They're personal. And it also says that your callings will be personal between you and God, and a lot of times they will be, you know, stuff that people say, you're crazy, you know, don't do that, what are you talking about, you know, and then the reason for that is because it's testing your faith, it's testing your ability to go with your flow, or be redirected by another person. And God, I don't believe judges us. I think He thinks we're all amazing. It actually, you know, for many years I didn't turn to Him when I was going through stuff because I was scared that He was mad at me for making a mistake. And so I would say my prayers every night and I would ask for forgiveness, but I was scared to even talk to Him about what I was asking for. And I would also not really get the help. I was like, I wanted to be better, but I didn't really know how to be better. I didn't know that at the time either. I just knew that I was supposed to be not good enough. But I was confused. And I was like, I didn't feel good enough. Basically, what I noticed is that every time they would approach me and say that, you know, I don't like that idea, it caught me off guard. And it made me question things that I was just right before excited about. And that's the feelings that I'm talking about. You guys got to go with that first feeling and know that when somebody holds you with disrespect like that, even if that's their opinion, even if that's right, you got to remember that God sends angels to be there for you as guides. And even though some people that are very intelligent are good guides, the way they talk to you is very important. You're learning how to let yourself love yourself, and it's like you're hearing people, you've always heard them, but you've always also noticed like how they talk to you and their tone. You sort of need to put like time into learning things like that. You're just like, why are they talking to me like that? You sit there for a long period of time and you actually invest into thinking about solutions and not causing problems. And so because of those things, you're about to be blessed. As you know, like the difference that you feel, all the times you feel different, that is the truth. And it's not a negative thing. It just says that you are one of the few people that actually do focus on solutions instead of problems. And God appreciates it. And you should know that you're really appreciated by me too. I mean, I'm sure that you appreciate anybody in your life that thinks of that, you know, does those things too. So it's a very rare thing. You're a very beautiful and rare thing. And sometimes it might be hard to be surrounded by all these people that, you know, but that's what being a leader is. It's what being a coach is, like getting a whole brand new team of people and having to re-inspire, re-teach. And I do know that it gets really tiring for some of you guys to be surrounded by all that. And God knows it too. But just know that the things that you do when you are a good person, they're so big and so important and so meaningful. Exactly. Believe in yourself and smile. You're on the right track. Your duty is to be a leader. A leader is so much more than getting the biggest paycheck or bossing people around. A leader looks out at the yonder and they see people's skill. Some of us are leaders where we're, you know, we believe in people. You know, you want to make the world better. You want to change the world. Some people are leaders like the Karate Kid leader, and they can see what the fuck's best for you, and they can change your mind. And some people are leaders just because they wanted power, you know. Pay attention to your leader. Believe in yourself. Some of you guys are meant to be the leader. And so at this time, I do feel like I'm talking to somebody who is actually not in a leadership position. And so if there's any opportunities for you to apply for one this month, next month, do that. I've been a leader for many years, and I've went on 39 free trips all around the world because only a manager can get those. So anything with corporate, you get to travel for free. A good boss will pay for your hotel, your travel, everything. A bad boss will never offer you a raise, and there will be no growth within the company. Just leave. Everybody's hiring all the time, and everybody's so grateful for somebody who works. Never, ever, ever worry about having a new job. I leave anytime. Every time. Get out the way. I don't care. I started another new job like 3 months ago. I lasted 3 years of my last one, but like I don't deal with fucking drama. I manage all over the place, and I have 2 girls there that were very mature, and you know, I look at my higher ups and I see how they handle it. And there was one that was in the between us, and she had this way she did shit. It wasn't working. She was a great person, but it wasn't working. And so when you deal with leadership, I've done both. I have talked to the one above the person I'm supposed to talk to. Is there something called a chain of command? Some of you guys are dealing with that. You might have a problem in the workplace. You might try to go around the chain of command. No, whoever your leader is, it's very important that you understand that you need to go up that chain of command, not because I'm telling you to do it, but because they will just go right back down that chain. Tell them what you said exactly. They're going to send everything you say right to your manager. So there's no point in doing it. I've been what they call the whistleblower before. Most of the things that you think are true, and you have the right to be upset or express. But when they've already built a culture, or if there's a secret that's being kept, or basically what happens, in my opinion, in a lot of places is either they're bullying you as a team, or somebody's already made a mistake and got involved with the girls that are bullies, and they have blackmail on the leader. Maybe they're personal friends outside the group, it could be a variety of things. But you get nowhere, but actually pretty much ran out of the company and having problems. And then you're very hurt and upset because, like I said, what you have to say is valid. So, I hope I didn't pass this out. I'm scared for my life. Okay, I think I'm right here. So, wherever you are, just respect yourself. And like I said, dude, I'm scared for my life. Do you think I passed it? Okay, it's right there. I always get so scared. I don't even know. And then you have to do like a turnaround. Cool. That's cool. My boss is still the only one here. She's cool. Her name's Anastasia. She's really beautiful. I decided to leave the Americans for a while. I was there for 3 years managing, but like I said, I was just not really good problem resolution. And you gotta watch for what people say. They will throw themselves under the bus a lot of times. That's what one person was doing. She actually always did. One day she said, so just watch people say. They will actually tell on themselves they're liars. In those moments, just you've been learning to respect yourself. You're just like, even last night, somebody was trying to lie right to my face. I just actually laughed really hard. And that person cracked a smile. It was really adorable. I never laugh. I've been working really hard on fucking trying to be positive. I gotta go hit the curve for a second. And just not yell. Fish, anger management is something I gotta work on, you know what I mean? And so that was one of my last few things. And I actually was laughing last night at this person because they were full of lying. And I don't know, it made me laugh so hard. I saw him smile and it was a completely different. So, and that's what, you're making progress. You're just like, okay, dude, you know what I mean? I'm not mad, you're just growing. We're at the salon, so I'm about to bring you in. Should be fine. If the music's played, I'll have to mute you. If not, then I will leave you muted and teach you a little bit about hair and stuff. I love teaching you guys. You're amazing and you're worth it. I like to teach you because I'm a teacher. And for two, I grew up in poverty with I have no problem with it. I'm grateful. For both, I feel like I can make it if I get nothing. But I never went to a salon once. I just became a stylist, and I like to teach you guys how to do stuff so that you don't have to pay for it, because I'm a sneaky little creature. I also went into the system like with law and OSHA and the government, and so I'm going to teach you guys about all the things that they look for, how they'll find you, and how that works, so you can keep yourself and your company and your crew and your everything safe. I'll teach you anything about college that you need to know and how financial aid works and the benefits of it and what you guys will learn in class. I teach for colleges. The next part is boundaries in the reverse. What was the first one again? New opportunities in the reverse. Yeah. Somebody, I feel like I told you got back with somebody, or you let somebody into your life. You were tested at this time to see if you actually respected yourself. For once and for all. Everything we go through will constantly recycle no matter what the time is of your life. And it's to see if you've grown or not, or if you're going to go up or down in hill. It's not saying that you're in trouble or you're bad. It's like for different times in your life, you're going to actually have relapses and setbacks because there's going to be some times that as a light worker, you're going to have to go back in level to help another person. And to be the weaker one, sometimes it humbles you. Sometimes it changes you. Sometimes you get to be in the other person's shoes. It's a lot. A lot of things happen. Should turn you into a better person in the end. You can also, like one time I went through a chapter and I got dumber. Facts. And so, you think that with the knowledge that you have, you're always going to be smart, right? You're like, oh, I already know that. I don't need to learn it again. It's like stretches. Remember when you were in elementary or middle school, you were like, why do we have to do stretches every fucking day? Stupid. Well, go ahead and try to do stretches now, but you're stiff. Because when you stop, it only takes about 2 months to change your habit again. And actually, 2 months, oh shit. So your brain is not actually what makes you smart. It's what you study on a regular basis. The brain's just like a download, a computer, and an SD card. And all the problems that you have every day are like all the apps that you have on your shit, and that's why you're running slow. You need to start deleting some of your problems and apps. Hey, beautiful. How are you? Good. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? It was pretty. Yeah, I did the same thing. I just didn't meet my daughter. It was chill. What's that? I agree. I've only done it a couple times, but honestly, uh, it's like a 5-hour round trip, and I'm not much for driving anywhere really. If I had a jet plane, maybe. Hi. Huh? It doesn't say 9 to 6. 9 to 6 for winter or 8. We didn't actually do it every day. Yeah, do you know that, Anastasia? We thought it was every day. Yeah, we closed last week at 6 every day. Oh, it started on Sunday. It's not just for Sunday. Oh, okay. Yes. Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6, and then Sunday 9 to 6. Okay, good. I got that. The Sundays are going to Great. I'm gonna have you show me how to, if you can, like do everything. I've never actually done it myself before. Yeah, one time I got scheduled at the South Hill and nobody else was there. And me and the clients were sitting in the parking lot. She gave me the stuff. No, I didn't even know. I was like, hey, I was like, who's supposed to be here? And she was like, oh, dang. She realized. I have to mute you. Or they'll give me a copyright. Okay, so when I go out there, I have to mute you because the stereo gives me a copyright. But I like it here. This is Oasis on Indiana, and they're really sweet. I've worked here before. They let me work out here when I worked in Alaska. And I've worked at both the same locations. It's kind of funny. They have four, but one of the locations has more dominant people, basically. They're kind of greedy with the clients. And I'm not like that. I'm very sharing. And so, if I, like I told you already, like if I see anybody just being greedy or money hungry, I'll pretty much dip. My manager, they're so sweet, though. She's so cute. I miss her a lot. I did text her last week and asked her if I can just maybe come up like even once a month, and it's really just to see her. Nobody up there likes to do sanitation, and so she was just so grateful every time I cleaned. And it's cute stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you're ever having an issue with anyone ever at work and you want to be the winner, just stay busy and sanitize and stay out of it. Um, Most of the time, if you have a problem at work, because I'm a boss, so I know how the fuck they act, there's usually a very malicious person. The malicious person usually looks like they're the innocent one. Basically, if you do anything where you're not part of the stupid sorority group, I call them the wolf pack. They're annoying as fuck, with respect to being a leader. I hate to just like say these things, but it's really frustrating and annoying to like be at my desk and have to be stopped by girls who want to snitch each other off. Guys don't do this. I mean, there's guys that get dramatic. There's guys that huff and puff. They're divas. There's people that hate children. They're practically like fucking Hansel and Gretel movie. You know what I mean? They want to stick them in an oven and eat them. But even the children haters, you know what I mean? The worst thing they're going to do is like be a fucking diva at work and just kind of drive you nuts with their fucking pessimistic attitude and shit. They're more passive aggressive, you know, they huff and puff. But they're the malicious ones. Oh my gosh. So they're pretty much butt kissing brown nosers when it comes to a leader in particular. The girls from my last place made a mistake. I was the leader, you fucking idiot. They were so stupid and money hungry that they actually tried to throw me out of my throne while I was training them to take it. And the two of them were best friends, and one of the best friends actually tried to turn on the other one and take her job. And so I actually just didn't let that one apply for the job because I don't want people that would try to fuck a friend over working a manager position. She can try later, you know, with somebody else, but for me, her best friend had actually already trained. And when she came to me and said she wanted to try for the job, I mean, I'm always fair. But I asked, it just caught me off guard because it was her best friend that actually got her the job. And so I was like, what the fuck, you know, in my head? Who the fuck does that? You know, I'm just like big on loyalty. And so I was just like professional. But I was like, well, are you worried at least, you know? Well, I said, you can always apply. I said, you know, but it was a huge corporation. And so jobs like these are always available. In fact, there was already one available at the salon that was just like 2 miles away. But apparently she wanted that one. So it was just like, it was very just nasty behavior, in my opinion. And she said straight up she didn't care about her friend. She didn't care that her friend got her the job and that she was not going to turn down an opportunity just because she was her friend. She didn't get the opportunity personally from me, which turned a lot of fucking shit over, which was fine. I dealt with it for like a year, and I went back to, well, I'm at this one now because it's Ukrainian women and Russian women, and I just think that they're very hardworking and mysterious, and I want to learn from a woman leader who teaches me stuff. You know what I mean? Is not immature. I don't want to be stopped in the middle of the day and deal with that shit just because like we're looking for employees. So there's At Great Clips, that's where I was managing last, but I managed at so many salons. I just love them all. I'm very grateful. I got to go to Minneapolis with Great Clips. That's what I was telling you guys. Make sure that you do take on manager positions. Assistant manager does not travel. Only manager. It's kind of a fuck deal, but it's true. I got to go to Vegas a few times as well. Uh, I've been the managers of schools and teaching. It's fun. I love it all. If you go do a trade like hair, for example, or nails or skincare, hair is, it's going to probably be about a 9-month program now. It was 12 when I went. But every year, school kind of reevaluates things. And how college works is you're not there to learn how to do, ombres and cool colors. I mean, you will learn it a little bit. But what you learn is based off of your educator's skills and abilities. And as you guys know, which I don't know, I've always loved school. I guess I was young. I was around people that were kind of pessimistic and miserable from a young age. And so I think for me that anybody outside of that unit or house seemed better. But now that I've actually had the opportunity to be around more and more leaders, there's really great leaders. And then there's leaders that really just don't know shit and waste your time and take your money. There's tons of money hungry people out there, guys. School is very important. If you haven't sent your kids to college yet, I work in the financial aid area. My class of, like, I focus on the human body and brain. That's what I teach. And I'll teach cosmetology a lot too. But I love teaching about the human body and the brain. And I also get to teach like cool things like the electricity class. It's interesting what I have to teach because, sorry, I'm just checking for clients. I don't want everybody to be standing there reading about. It's interesting because you would think, like I said, you go to college and you're going to learn whatever it is. Like, let's say you want to paint cars. So every day you go in there and you just, for some reason, or you keep learning about like just weird shit, like you will probably have to learn about like air pressure and, watts. You have to learn about electricity. You have to learn about outlets. You have to learn about breaker boxes, watts. Anytime you use anything at school or in your career that you have to use on another person that has electrical current, you have to learn about that because people, let's just say with like high blood pressure or diabetes, if you were to put something with a current on them, it could actually affect them medically. And when you do massage, if you don't know where like different pressure points are, again, and they have different medical conditions, and you were to massage the wrong thing, it can again put their body into a state of shock. So that's interesting because OSHA and the government, they don't really like, they're like, great, if you learn how to massage correctly, that's wonderful. They're like, we're not going to sit here and fucking, that's not what we're here to do. So what college actually is for is because you're working in the community and basically you're taking on a license that you would have to actually touch another person or determine another person's something. So whenever you have to go to college, it's not really because, it's because simply because you're choosing to work in a state or a department of area that you work with another human being or something alive. Anything that is alive that you take responsibility over and you determine a choice of, anything for another person, where there's a chemical involved, where there's any electricity, anything like that. When you even make a mental health statement, that's why you can't diagnose people legally without degrees. It's because if you do it wrong, you're taking actually responsibility for that person's life and shit. You know what I mean? That's why you have to go to school, because whatever you're doing, you can actually cause harm to another person. So those of you who don't realize that, it's true. Everything that you take school for is truly because you determine another person's outcome with your fucking statements, with your actions. Even if, like, let's just say, I'll tell you another example, like perms break the hair bonds 80%, bleach breaks the bonds 50%, color 30%. So let's say I don't know these things. How do I determine when my client comes in? How do I teach the students, how do we determine is their hair healthy or not? They might say, oh, I never color it. Okay, but you can see that there's color on it. Let's just say you're not sure, you're not confident in how to communicate. We have to teach them things like, what is elasticity? Elasticity is the hair's ability to stretch and return without breaking. How is elasticity created? It's created through the moisture that you take in. The hair, skin, and nails are the last thing. So we're going to pull it gently. Hopefully it doesn't break. I haven't done this one. See that? You want to stretch it out. You want to see, does your hair have elasticity? Because if it can stretch without breaking, you're doing well. So that's good. You want to do this even if you do shit at home. Okay, so the elasticity is the ability to return without breaking. Density is the diameter of each individual hair strand. That matters too. Somebody who has very thin hair, fine hair, they're not going to need a very powerful developer. Developer is this. It's hydrogen peroxide mixed with ammonia and bleach, okay? So you have ammonia with your color. And you already know normally if you were to do bleach and ammonia into cleaning, it would create a mustard gas. That's why you smell something so powerful. The stronger the smell, the higher in alkaline it is. So the bigger the number, the stronger it will be on your hair. You don't need a lot of power for somebody who has fine hair. That's why if they were like, oh, you know what, I think I'm going to use 40 volume today. Wow. 40 volume is something that you might use on very, very thick, curly, maybe even ethnic hair. You can use 40 if they have very strong, powerful hair and you need to get through the shaft. I call that hair fortress hair. And it's like a beetle's. I always picture like a beetle because you got bugs that have very thin outer layers and then you have ones that have very thick beetle-like shell layers. So that's really the reason why the numbers are changing on there. You would know things like, they need to know things like, bro, if they were to do bleach over a fucking perm, dude, we just talked about it. Perm it breaks the bonds, and so does a chemical relaxer. It breaks the bonds 80%. So if you just go and you're like, yeah, can I actually do a perm and I want to do some highlights today? And you're like, fuck yeah, you can. Really, can they? Because if it breaks 80% and highlights break it fucking 50%, you just fucking broke the hair's bonds 100 and literally 30%. That's why the hair is broken from head to end. There's no getting your hair back after that. It's very important that you guys understand the purpose of permanent, semi, and demi hair color. People think that if they just keep doing permanent over and over, it's going to last longer. No, it does not. You don't need to do permanent on your fucking hair that's already colored. You need to do semi or demi because you just need to juicy it up. The semi or demi doesn't break your bonds. So if your stylist is just running it from root to end every fucking time, they don't give a shit about you, bro. If you look at your hair and it's like, we're going to do a hair together. I'm going to go to my station in a second. But dude, stylists, a lot of them don't care about you. I see it every day. There's very few people that do care. There's a saying, and they say 20% of the people are making 80% of the money, and 80% of the people are making 20% of the money. That's very true. You'll find in a workplace that a lot of the most evil people are the ones who are in charge. Well, that just tells you a lot about the people above them. Even if you see the good in a person above the person who you have to talk to, if the person above them hasn't actually reached out and actually basically asked for your opinion, you're going to run into a problem by expressing it. you're pretty much just going to be talked about in a staff meeting and more than likely eliminated. The girls that I was training for this position, they got so crazy about it. They started to turn on even my leader. The fuck? They started demanding that they talk to the next person up, the next person up. They don't know much about the people above them because there was only the person they were talking to and two of people above them. So when you start not knowing what you're talking about and you're demanding to speak to the person above, you may need to realize that whoever you're asking directly at that moment, that's their boss, bro. And basically, what you're doing is threatening to get that person in trouble. So you're making a mistake. You can't go and tell on your manager and not know who the manager above you's manager is. That's what a chain of command is. And basically, that person seen right through their behavior and started to think, "Dear sweet Jesus." And she did not give that person or any person, they didn't get the job. I'll be right back. Well, you're coming with me, but Oh, I muted for a second. Just so I can tell you guys. Tips, tricks. She's a great leader, though. That's my leader down here, and she's a real sweetheart. She, I like to always just be respectful, and so maybe they don't want their face on here, so that's why I have to bring the phone down sometimes, because it's up to each person, and if they want to be on a video, and I just told her it'll be muted. But the music is why I mute it mostly, because they'll give me copyright and block me. Anytime you want to straighten your hair without the straightener, you just use metal and heat. My hair's not even wet anymore and it'll still straighten. I was questioning on whether or not I honestly liked that Redken thermal spray just because you guys can see that shine here on top. I'm not really sure. I usually like a very fine mist aerosol spray. I don't like anything in my hair. But we'll see how, because I had a feeling like when we blow dry it in, it's probably have some style memory, some hold to it. Yep, right there, hold. Shine, low hold. But yeah, that's what it is. So I had a feeling with the way it was looking that it might blow dry in real nice. And the reason why it looked a little bit heavier is because it has something called style memory. So if your hair goes out of place or you sleep on it, basically when you just use your blow dryer, your thermal again, it will reactivate the whole product just like you were using it for the first time until you wash your hair. Still feels a little heavy though. But maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I personally can see the wet look in it. I don't care. It does look nice. I mean, shiny. But I don't like any type of like heaviness or wet on my hair. It does look nice though. you just see it. I don't know. It does look nice. I do like how I feel like it did actually. It's like doing something for the top. As far as volume goes, like if you ever want volume, you just need to blow dry it in the opposite direction. Take sections that are no larger ever than the tool that you're using. I'm going to trim a little bit because I feel like it is dry on the end. That one. Everyone here's sweet. The South Hill is known to be, that's where I'm usually at. That's where I was managing at. So I wasn't managing for this one at the South Hill, but I was managing for the location across the street from the one I went to. So I thought it would be a smart idea maybe so I would be close to my clients, but it's okay. I like the people down here. There's only a couple girls that argue, and one of them was one of my old friends. I just took them off of my feed. I blocked them from my account because the first day when I got here, they just started talking crap about another girl, and I never had any issues with that girl. So I don't think that's very mature behavior, and I just left a location for the same shit. And so I just don't need somebody like that wasting my time. So I just blocked her, friend or not. That's not a friend. They ain't a friend to you, they're not a friend to me. And it's not because I'm picking sides, it's because it's obvious. If somebody's going to talk shit about you or to you, they will talk shit about you. So that person, like, you'd have to, like, worry all the time about kissing their fucking ass. And those type of people will always just be watching your stuff to actually be doing the same exact thing that they did. So never feel special if somebody walks up to you and starts gossiping and just get rid of them. Mind your own business at work. Try to stay out of problems if you can. It's just it's not worth it. Plus the leader, there's no way that you can really go wrong if you just don't get involved. But there's tons of ways that you can go wrong when you do get involved because those girls, you know, they live to do shit like that. They will always be doing shit like that. They don't stop. So they like wake up in the morning and they're like, how can I fuck somebody's life up? You know what I mean? And it's weird, but you're like, what the fuck, dude? And so don't be a day saver. It's not worth it. That's too high up. I'm really weird about where my apron ties on the side. Always be watching within your company for opportunities for growth because if there's not any, you're never going to get a raise. Does that make sense, really? I mean, you're never going to have like opportunities. I mean, that one's got a ripped. It's cute though. I like how it ties right here. I'll take it. None of these are, we have, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, maybe a little bit lower, huh? That's cute though. I like that when it's like tight. But yeah, there's just like I was saying, and right before I came out here, dude, the girls that tried to like turn on each other, they were like the definition of frenemies. Like one of them was competing, the other one straight comes in and wants her position behind her back. That girl knows it. I'm telling her, bro, you're like, I'm not trying to. I'm only telling her because the one girl, well, I'm her manager, so I have to talk to her. And I'm basically like, you're as a leader, you're gonna run into different personality types, and like if you like the other girl was using that girl as a catalyst to like snitch people off, and then the other girl was acting like she didn't say anything. And so the other girl she kept having problems with people over and over and over again. I just told her straight up, bro, like, no matter what person it is, like, whether it's this, you know, because you have, like, two kinds of people in the workplace. You have the little brown nose and snitches. And then you have kind of the fucking people that, well, you have three, actually. You have people that mind their own business and do their job. And then you have the ones that kind of party and everybody talks shit about and puts their business on blast. And so, just stay the fuck out of shit. But this bitch, she would still just go be your friend right after she would fuck her over and over and over. I was like, bro, it's not a good idea. I don't care what you do. You can do whatever you want. So, but I'm just telling you, if people were to kind of find out how you were doing things behind their back, they may not want to come to you as a trusted assistant manager, which is what she was training for. She didn't listen to me, dude. And she even went as far as to not even look into the people above her. She started to threaten my boss even. She demanded in a meeting that my boss even fucking give her the number to the person above her. What do you think that means, Jeebus? That means you're going to talk to her boss? So then you would be saying that my boss, you're saying I can't do it. Now you're saying my boss can't do it. But she wasn't thinking. She wasn't thinking about what she was really saying. She was saying, she was turning my boss in. Anyways, the girls didn't even end up getting the positions, neither one. I trained another girl named Danielle, and it's so funny because Danielle actually annoys me too. It's like the most annoying person in history, you know what I mean? You know that one person at work is just like, oh my gosh. So Danielle's one of those people that's just like, what are you doing? Oh, she'll be like under your table. She'll be like, what are you doing? And you're like, oh my fucking gosh, get away from me, Danielle. Literally, she's like not a bad person, but she's just one of those fucking people that's like so annoying, dude. And you're like, oh my gosh, dude. She's the reason why I started wearing baseball caps to work. So I keep my head down and not really like make eye contact with her. And I also carry clipboards around that don't say anything at all with paperwork. And she thinks I'm actually taking care of things and I just look busy. Some people are like that. They're not bad people, but they are actually really fucking annoying with respect to them, bro. Anyways, they told me that they'd worked with her also after she got out into the industry, and that she had worked up at that location actually before I became their manager. And I started laughing because I trained her myself. I know exactly who the fuck they're talking about, and I know how annoying she is. So I'm just laughing, thinking about my own experiences, bro. And they even said that at one day she came to work talking about having her placenta removed, and it was like a whole placenta conversation and on top of other things. And that too ended up actually, without even planning it, became their new manager. She is hilarious. I started laughing so hard because I never tried for them to not get the job, even though they were not trustworthy at all. They were like doing faulty things over and over and over. And they didn't care, who they were putting at risk to lose their job. Not only that, but they weren't clever. They didn't even pay attention any time I was training them anything about the job. And so, I got plugged straight up. But basically, yeah, they knew nothing by the time it was ready. And they even threatened my own boss for her job. And they ended up nobody getting it. And then one of their worst nightmares ended up being their manager. So isn't that shit funny? I got muted again. Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you want a coffee? You bought me one last time.